about motivation. This is not a sales speech at all. The meaning of the song to me is basically that we're all faced with problems in our life, and it's up to us to overcome those problems. How many here have overcome major problems in your lifetime? Then you know what we went through. The purpose of this speech is basically to think when you wake up in the morning to become a survivor or a victim, and you also want to be thinking to become a survivor, which is a lever to live a much better life.
An opportunity, not a disability. On Saturday, October 10th, 1988, four 18-year-old boys were knocking back a few Budweisers. At midnight, one of the young geniuses had a brilliant idea. He suggested they all four go visit a friend down at Stockton University. Not long after, the passenger found himself in his dream car, a white 300ZX Turbo, rocketing down the highway at speeds of over 100 miles an hour. And I'm sure if you ever got a chance to ask him, he would tell you that he was more thrilled than he was scared. 18-year-old genius. But as they started to pull away from the toll, the driver hit the gas and took off, once again rocketing down the highway. The passenger sat up, looked around, and what do you think he saw behind him? It was the cops. Within moments, they tried to exit the highway. The car jumped a curb, hit a tree, flipped over, and because I wasn't wearing a seatbelt, I was ejected from the vehicle, flying through the air over 100 feet, landing, breaking my neck, and receiving a permanent spinal cord injury.
My analogy in life is that we're all running a race with hurdles. And unfortunately, I get to the middle of my life and I didn't clear a hurdle. And I was told that by the coach that I would never be able to finish the race. So it took me like 5 years to relearn everything from zero and then continue the race. I had what's called an AVM, which stands for arterial vein malformation. And what that is a bleed that at some times can erupt and cause a problem. Basically, all you people can have one, but if it never erupts, then it won't be a problem for you. Charles.
Winston Churchill said that a pessimist finds the difficulty in every opportunity, but an optimist finds the opportunity in every difficulty. So can having a spinal cord injury and being forced to spend the rest of your life in a wheelchair possibly be considered an opportunity? Let's see. I can't move my hands. I have limited use of my arms. I can't move or feel anything from my upper chest down, and I can't walk. How can these circumstances be considered an opportunity? Let me tell you a little bit about myself before my accident. At 18 years old, I had recently graduated from high school, but just barely. My grades weren't so hot, and because of my attendance, I almost lost credit and didn't graduate. But women, you beautiful ladies out there, scared the heck out of me. I didn't date in high school, and sadly, you're looking at the guy who had to ask his sister's best friend to his high school prom because he was afraid to ask anybody else. I wasn't very confident, and I was especially afraid of those of you with the fairer sex.
My operations were very expensive, and luckily for me, I had major medical and a disability policy which covered the expenses. The only reason I bought a disability policy is 1 year before my injury, I get one of these cards in the mail, and I happened to look through it and just bought it for whatever reason. I don't know why. So sometimes in life we're all dealt lemons, and it's up to all of you to make lemonade out of it.
Immediately after my accident, things were very difficult. But my hospital room was always full of my friends and family. Sometimes you might ask yourself, how do I know if this person really cares about me? Well, I know my brother cared about me and loved me. He could entertain a room full of people with a Q-tip, picking his paralyzed brother's nose. He would say things like, "Ready or not, here I come," or "Looks like we picked a winner." And I remember my two best friends at the time, every weekend they would drive all the way from Middletown down to Philadelphia to keep me company over the weekend. And I remember one particular time, they grabbed me by the back of the wheelchair, took me off into a private room. They said, "Charlie, we rehearsed something for you." And they jumped up on a table and they gave me their rendition of Aretha Franklin's Respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. So because of the overwhelming love and support I received from my friends and family, I started to gain my own confidence and have R-E-S-P-E-C-T for myself. So having a disability can be an opportunity.
Before my setback in life, I was going to the gym to get in buff shape. The doctor informed me that because I was in good shape at the time of this rupture, it ended up saving my life. The way I look at the gym is basically it's like buying an insurance policy, because when you have a problem occur in your lifetime, you want to be well prepared at the time to do whatever's needed.
After my accident, like Keith, it was more or less starting over. I had lost 45 pounds in a 6-week period, and I lost all of my muscle mass. I was so weak, I couldn't even lift my arm to scratch my nose. But as I look back at those times, I realized that Thomas Jefferson University Hospital had everything an 18-year-old needed for recovery. It had the best doctors in the country. It had some of the best medical facilities in the entire world. And it also had some of the best-looking nurses and physical therapists. Before I knew it, my 18-year-old instincts were kicking in, and I was flirting in every direction. I realized that women weren't as scary as I thought they were. Before long, I was out of the hospital and dating. Match and eHarmony, eat your heart out. Yes, having a disability can be an opportunity.
What I do every year now to get a peace of mind is I go for MRIs. Basically, from doing that every year, it's provided me with a very magnetic personality.
So as a result of my having a spinal cord injury, I received the overwhelming love and support of my friends and family, and I became more confident. And the unexpected exposure to women in the hospital made me more comfortable around women and dating. Now, I'm not suggesting that any of you go out and have a major injury in order to have the kind of opportunities that I've had. But if I could find opportunities in the difficult circumstances that I just described, then you can find opportunities around you. There are opportunities everywhere. I'm challenging you all to look at your difficult situations, your disability, so to speak, and transform them into your opportunities. My difficulties have given me my greatest opportunities, and they can do the same for you. Yes, having a difficulty can be an opportunity.
My friends tell me that they see a major improvement with my condition from the hard work that I'm doing, but they still tell me that I talk like the Cookie Monster and walk like Frankenstein. I'm just happy to be here and not look like Big Bird. The reality is that things could have been a lot worse when this occurred to me. In conclusion, just when you come across other people, realize that they have the other personal problems that you may not know about. Each day when we awaken, our choices are to be a victim of our circumstances or a survivor. My choice of being a survivor has led me to a much better life. Part of my therapy, my agent had me set up a website called BuffCharities.com. And this is part of my therapy right here, writing this book. So it took me 5 years to relearn everything from zero, and then 5 more years to write a book about it. And all the money from the book is being donated to charity. Thank you for your time.